These are the 3 total drama theories I truly believe in. And with these 3 theories, I'll totally change the way you see the show. Let's get started. Total drama is scripted. Let's start with the location. Camp Owanakwa is supposed to be a random island in Muskoka, Ontario. Yet even from season 1, we got this scene.
This close to civilization all alone?
May I take your order?
Yes, you can take my order!
But you most likely already saw and analyzed this scene. What about the other things related to the island that just don't make sense? How are there sharks in the freshwater lakes? How do you explain the coconut palms on the island? How many fatal injuries did the contestants of Total Drama go through? I'll tell you the answer: too many. And for most of the show, they are unfazed by them. Think about this. Alejandro was covered in lava, and 2 seasons later, he's back brand new. Now think about the legal implications of the show. No contract could make the authorities stand by and watch Chris put together a bunch of minors for a tournament on live television and get away with it. Sure, he went to prison, but it was for the radioactive dump he placed on the island. Plus, there are other obvious things that just don't make sense. How do you see into someone's head? How do you get your contestants into Area 51? How do you kill someone on live television? The only rational explanation to all of that is that Total Drama is indeed scripted. And it actually makes sense. Over the years, a lot of reality shows turn out to be scripted. And this theory will just make Total Drama another name on the list of fakes. Ezekiel is immortal. Among all the other contestants that ever participated in the show, it is safe to say that Ezekiel suffered the most. At the end of the day, he was just a homeschooled kid who wanted to be accepted, but ended up as a monstrous feral mutant. But having said that, he survived all the situations he was put through. The whole story behind his immortality theory begins in Total Drama World Tour. While he was inside of the pyramid, Ezekiel triggered one of the traps and got covered in mummy wraps and the Ankh. In Egyptian culture, the Ankh literally means life after death. But let's take a closer look at that scene. The Ankh didn't just fall on him. It sounds like those objects somehow stabbed him, but he seems just fine a few moments later. We can assume that from this moment in the story, he became basically invincible, which in theory seems like a great thing, but generally in Egyptian culture, these things are associated with curses. But how could immortality be a curse? You see, I don't think that this event just affected his body resistance. I think it also affected his mind and soul. In the episodes after Ezekiel's elimination, we saw lots of creepy cameos with him wandering around in the jumbo jet. But this behavior, all of this hiding in the shadows thing, doesn't seem like something the old Ezekiel would have done. Suddenly, he got creepier and creepier. In the occasions in which he is officially brought back to the show, we saw big changes in his appearance. His skin turned green, and he started balding. At first, I thought that all of those changes were related to the lack of nutrients from his diet. And it's true that can explain the hair loss. But what about the green skin? I found out that a lack of iron in your diet can indeed turn your skin a little green, but certainly not in the way it happened to Ezekiel. His skin tone was very similar to that of a zombie, and that's when I started to notice those spots on his head. Those are unusual. So I did a little bit of research, and I found out that one of the possibilities is that those spots are called livor mortis. What does that mean? Well, it seems that after death, these spots can appear on a person's body because of the lack of blood circulation. But he can't be dead. I mean, we just said that he's immortal. And that's exactly it. Because in Egyptian mythology, mummies are immortal but not actually alive, just like zombies. That's because their bodies don't function the same way as in the living's case. Usually those undead creatures can be killed only through pretty specific actions. That explains why the majority of the damage Ezekiel took didn't kill him. Izzy is actually a genius. This is by far the craziest theory. And trust me, once you get it, you won't see Total Drama the same. Let's first think about one thing. Izzy is the only contestant who had 2 audition tapes and the only contestant who was eliminated 5 times even though she only participated in 3 seasons. If we go to her audition tapes, we can see that she had two different approaches. First, she goes with the crazy narrative and says a very interesting thing.
Boring be never will it.
Izzy!
What, Mom?
Why is this so interesting? Because these are the words every producer of a reality show wants to hear. After her second elimination, we got to see the second audition tape, in which she tries a totally different approach, maximizing her chances of getting into the show.
And I'm like so smart you have no idea. Maybe even a genius.
But there's even more evidence. If we continue our quest, we find another interesting moment during the team selection. In TDI 2007, the Screaming Gophers were the superior team, and apparently, Izzy figured that out too, because when she is named as part of the Killer Bass team, she has no reaction. She doesn't even stand next to her team when Chris gives them their flag. But only an episode later, when Sadie and Katie ask to be in the same team, she immediately accepts.
I'll switch places with her.
All right, fine. You're both on the Killer Bass now.
And now she's actually happy to join the team. But even though she's happy to be in the stronger team, she doesn't jump into showing her true potential. Remember what MK said?
What you need is a secret talent. Know what mine is?
Hey, where's my wallet?
I'm always underestimated.
This is exactly what Izzy does for most of her next challenges. She goes under the radar. We can see that especially in the dodgeball challenge. Here we saw her taking some hits without really trying to avoid them, even though we saw what she was capable of later in the season. But going under the radar is not enough. You need allies. And what loyal ally better than Owen? You see, in Total Drama World Tour, Blandley said a pretty interesting thing.
Marrying the audience favorite could be a positive boost for my image.
Of course, there was no way for her to find that out until later on in the season. Yet, at first, she might have got one thing right. Owen is very easy to manipulate. If we pay attention, we can see that along the show, Izzy adapts a lot of her personality to Owen's in order to make him fall in love with her. For example, in the episode Phobia Factor, we saw Izzy claiming to have the same fear as Owen.
Lying, man. That's some crazy stuff.
I would never go up in a plane. Never.
A lie that is proven 2 seasons later, when he still has the same fear, but she doesn't.
Where's the plane, eh?
I know, right? Let's fly!
Watch out! Ooh.
After the challenge, when he was kissing the ground, she immediately began to do the same thing. In this special episode, we saw the result of her work.
I think I'm in love with you.
Yet, despite her genius, she still made a mistake that caused her to be eliminated in the 7th episode. Or was it a mistake? The first time she was eliminated in TDI 2007, she revealed her illegal actions on live television, making sure that the Royal Canadian Mounted Police would come looking for her. That seems like a terrible thing to happen, right? Wrong. She was always 2 steps ahead. When she disappeared, she was not officially eliminated by Chris. She maintained the right of being in the game while simultaneously skipping most of the competition. When she returned to the competition, she said that she spent her time in the woods, yet Ava revealed something interesting during her second elimination.
Oh! And Izzy lied! She wasn't in the woods! She was...
Wow, she has issues, huh?
So, what can we assume? Maybe Izzy spent her time at Playa de Losers with the rest of the eliminated contestants. While the others faced the challenges, she just watched, analyzed them, and relaxed for a bit. Then, when she felt ready, she popped up into the game again. So, if she's that smart, what stopped her from getting into the final? Well, the unexpected. She didn't expect Duncan and Heather to form an alliance. She targeted Heather, but she didn't expect her to have someone to back up her vote. Yet during her elimination, she didn't seem sad, because she knew it wasn't over. She might be the only contestant who actually read the entire contract, including the part in which Chris mentioned that he can summon the contestants for a second season. But before that, in Owen's ending, she was actually the one that ensured Owen's victory. And then, Total Drama Action came around. Her first elimination came pretty fast, only in the 3rd episode of the series. Yet once again, she's ready for it. How? She avoided the first elimination by outsmarting Chris.
I'm not going anywhere. That's not my name.
It says E-scope now, okay? And remember, You can never come back, ever.
So officially, Izzy was never eliminated. That allowed her to return to the game. After this, she continued to adapt her personality for Owen.
Totally awesome that Izzy is back. Yeah.
She solved the medical mystery,
Oh my gosh, first year med school syndrome! Too much studying and too little sleep can make you think you've got every disease in the book!
and she took charge and became frustrated in the 10th episode.
So, come on, what are the numbers? Read them out.
Ah! I'm surrounded by loons!
Doesn't exactly look like the crazy Izzy we're used to, does she? But despite all of her efforts along the game, the unexpected hit her one more time. In a moment when she was certain about Justin's elimination, the voters turned out to be against her. But the story didn't end there. After she thought her time in Total Drama officially ended, she changed her plan. She pursued a movie career. After all, what's $1 million for a famous actor? Izzy was here to play the long game. Yet here, we can see her true personality being revealed one more time. And after her snap, she tries to return to her crazy personality in order to erase any suspicions that can arrive upon her.
Okay, hey, just kidding, guys! I just really went ballistic for no reason.
Still, her movie career was over. But then a new opportunity arose. We know that Total Drama Dirtbags was just something Chris created in order to make the contestants willing to come back for a third season. But the contestants couldn't know that. And all of them wanted a new chance at $1 million. But Izzy knew that they can't just ask Chris there for another chance. She knew that they needed to give the viewers a show. And that's exactly what she did. She entered the building the first time, only to abandon the plan and get the door closed once again. That led to a bunch of crazy events, which made Chris say this.
Cheating, shameless self-promotion, sabotage. I love those kids.
Her plan succeeded. Chris wanted them back more than ever. But in World Tour, her act starts to lose its effect. Not even Owen bothers continuing their relationship. And the plane crash was the perfect opportunity for her to use her new gimmick. She didn't have to play genius too much because in the aftermath, she got hit in the head again. One of the last impressive things she did was in Total Drama All-Stars, when she saw right through Mike's medical illness.
You're right! Help! Mal is keeping me prisoner in my own subconscious! Wait!
Question, who's Mal?
Probably because of her pre-med training. These are the Total Drama theories that I truly believe are true. If you want to see me react to your best theories, make sure to check out this video. Take care and see you next time.